Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Just a second. Sir, can we request everyone to please come forward?
Yes, people at the back, it would be really great if we can sit at the front. Saturday evening, 5 o'clock becomes little difficult. Okay. Uh, Before moving into the main topic, I would like to show a report published by World Economic Forum 2025 about future of jobs, right? I'll showcase that report and I would like you to make inference out of it. So the top report says the growing jobs by 2030, and the bottom section talks about the top declining jobs, right? In the top declining jobs, how many of those relates directly or indirectly to us? Can anyone tell? Almost top 10 declining jobs, may 4 or 5 pertains to our fraternity. Correct? And top emerging jobs, if you see, directly or indirectly, it is related to data, it is related to AI. And this conference is all about being digital. And since morning, I think we would have multiple times heard the word of data, data lake, heard the word about AI, analytics. But it is really sad to experience that hardly few of us, as a qualified chartered accountants, we have taken that service offerings to our clients. We are still, as Umesh sir said, that tax, GST, they are like our mothers, right? But in this era of digitization and AI enablement, you all might be experiencing that the days are not far that the age old traditional practice will hit the roadblock, right? There would be GST professionals who started in 2016. Compare your charging fees that point of time to what you are charging in today's GST practices. So that basically propels us to do a brainstorming as to, do we need to add another service offering in our kitty? And I would beg to differ on what Rishabh said. He said that अपने जो comfortable है अपने को वही करना चाहिए. But that is where 50 or 100 people sitting inside this room are pushing, right? Can 2 people from this room go out, start your data and AI consulting practice wing, and you will see what differentiator it brings in the eyes of your client. And with this understanding, with this theme, the whole session of our would be taken care of, right? So traditional CA practices are becoming saturated. How many of us would vouch for this statement? Right? What are some of the familiar struggles that you would be experiencing providing your services to your clients? Anyone in the house? Familiar struggle with your client, in-house team, providing services. What are those? Key pointers. Anyone? Anyone? different updates, right? Employee management. Sorry? Absolutely. So Rishabh very nicely said he's defined ICP, ideal client profile, very nicely, and that obviously gives you a. I beg to differ. I beg to differ on that. That CA's voices are not strong because CAs are the people who have got the direct connectivity to any chief executive room. Okay, CAs are the one who have got direct connectivity, right? So some of the familiar struggle that we experience is again how to one of the most important struggle that I experience is how we can become a strategic advisor to our client rather than a compliance manager. How many of us feel that we are still a compliance manager to our client? We are, right? And compliance for any organization is a cost center. It's not a profit center or it's not a revenue generating center. आज क्लाइंट अपने से ऑडिट क्यों कर रहा था? बिकॉज इट्स मैंडेटेड. कल के दिन अगर वो मैंडेट हट जाएगा, द फर्स्ट कट वुड बी ऑन दीज सर्विसेज. क्लाइंट अपने को इसीलिए कराता है बिकॉज इट्स अ कंप्लायंस रेगुलेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट, right? And it is very sad to experience that we as chartered accountants, where we have got the business understanding in and out of our client, very few amongst us have basically transformed ourselves into a true value strategic advisor to our clients, right? So we have built the trust, okay? CA, lawyers and doctors, कोई जल्दी से change नहीं करना चाहता, right? So we have built the trust, but what next? We are doing compliance, we are doing auditing, we are doing taxation related stuff and repeating these activities day in and day out. Correct? Are we not doing this? Right? कभी आप लोगों को एक्सपीरियंस हुआ है जब क्लाइंट ने बोला कि पिछले साल आपने 50,000 का ऑडिट फीस लिया था, इस बार 40,000 कर दो यार? Margins of the companies are getting hit, okay, and your fees is directly proportional to the revenue, the margins which your client is generating. Agree? Right? Because of this tariff war, because of this strict competition, the margins of your clients are getting diminished day by day. Competition is increasing. Every year, साल में 2 बार न्यू सीएस आते हैं, न्यू सीएस क्वालिफाइड होते हैं, राइट? अब 3 बार होंगे. So every year, number of CA people, qualified CA people are increasing. And what it is doing? It is putting pressure, added pressure onto us, existing chartered accountants. Because एक business को success होने में it takes 5 years, 10 years, right? Market में आपकी supply, demand कम है, but आपकी supply ज़्यादा हो रही है. Because of which there is huge amount of competition amongst CAs to basically get that 10% or 20% of the wallet share from your client, right? Clients are demanding more. How many of us have experienced this? When I say clients are demanding more, आप जीएसटी तो कर रहे हो या फिर आप इंटरनल ऑडिट कर रहे हो, क्या आप एफआरए भी कर सकते हो क्या? फ्रॉड रिस्क असेसमेंट कर सकते हो क्या? राइट? सो दिस इज द नेचर ऑफ द क्लाइंट्स दैट हैव transformed over a period of years. Okay? They don't want you as a compliance manager. They want to see you as a strategic advisor. And these words, they demand more, okay, faster, at a cheaper rate, okay, and they want you to be smarter in terms of using the new age technologies. Okay, trust me, it is a matter of time when your end client would understand कि आप GST reconciliation अगर आप कर रहे हो automation से you can reduce your effort by 40% or 50%, and that is where they would ask you to reduce your price. It is going to happen. It is only because they don't know or they are not aware enough that how you are doing that reconciliation. The moment they understand, they become little technology literate, they will ask you to reduce your prices. Okay? Or they will shift to some other CAs, there would be a price war. Because other CAs, they are using AI technologies, they are using analytical tools to get that done at a much cheaper rate, faster rate, and in a much smarter way. So, what is this basically directing towards? This is basically wanting us to add another service offering in our kitty. GST आने के पहले कितने लोगों का GST से रिलेटेड सर्विस ऑफरिंग था या फिर टैक्सेशन से रिलेटेड सर्विस ऑफरिंग्स था? ठीक है, बहुत कम लोग का. GST केम इन, वी एक्लेमेटाइज्ड आवरसेल्फ, वी अपस्किल्ड आवरसेल्फ, एंड देन वी वेंचर्ड इनटू GST सर्विस. राइट? इनकम टैक्स में भी वही हुआ, कंप्लायंस में भी वही हुआ, वैल्यूएशन में भी वही हो रहा है, फोरेंसिक ऑडिट्स में भी वही हो रहा है. राइट? सो हाउ कैन यू लेवरेज the new technology shift into data and AI and basically have that value added service offering defined for your client? What is the odd one out in this screen? What is the odd one out? Anyone? Five PM and somebody said 7 PM. Why? Anyone? Non-statutory, yes. But I want that key differentiator word in this. It's a value-added service. Okay. The last two are not compliance. They are basically creating a cost reduction or a revenue generation area for your client. And trust me, when you give those value-added service to your client and you want X amount, they will not deter. Okay. I have experienced a scenario where we as a company have asked our end client that whatever cost optimization and saving our tool, our consulting is giving you, we want 15% out of that. And they have happily agreed to this engagement approach. Okay. So this is where the world is moving. Because of the advent of GPT, the AI tools, right? Our services, the age-old traditional services is going to get commoditized. When I say commoditized, 50 रुपए hour में, 100 rupees hour, 150 hours में. How many of us have experienced the fact that even law graduates have started income tax return filing? Right? So our services that we are providing to end clients have already started getting commoditized, or there is an added competition from the market. What is the inflection point that we are experiencing? Right? We are trusted financial advisors. Are we or are we not? Right? Do we have direct connectivity with the C-suite people within the organization? The CFOs, the CEOs, the CXOs, right? Correct? Do we not have a deep process understanding? अगर आज के दिन में if we are doing let's say logistics audit or manufacturing audit, I am pretty much sure we as an auditor would be knowing the process in a much better way than the core manufacturing people of that company, because we have read SOPs, we have understood the manufacturing process of n number of our clients, we know the best practices, we know the standard practices. Okay, so we are having direct connectivity with the key decision maker or influencer in the company, and we know each and everything about our client's business. Right? Now let us imagine this with data and AI. So understand the impact of our value added service enhancement if we leverage data and AI as an added service to our clients. Okay. Now many a times during sessions I have heard people that AI is for software developers, data analytics is for software developers. Is it? When Excel came into limelight, right, everyone thought the same way. But today we are doing majority of our PL balance sheet, basic or intermediate analysis on Excel. And we have become somewhat proficient in using Excel. So as a consultant, as an financial consultant, you need not know coding. You just have to be a consultant. Okay. What is the big shift that industry is experiencing? And trust me when I speak this, I have been working with Infosys prior to and post my qualification, then ENY, and currently with Indus Net Technologies. We are working with top-notch BFSI firms, banking, financial services and insurance. You take top 30 logos in BFSI domain, almost 80% of those logos we are working into analytics, into AI, into core application development. You take top 20 logos in pharma and life sciences company, we are working with them. You take top 10 retail companies, we are working with them. CPG companies, we are working with them. And we are experiencing these shift day in and day out. 3 out of 5 companies that we basically, define our ICP and do those prospecting, they are leveraging data for their day in, day out decision making. Okay. Now CFOs are becoming chief performance officers rather than chief financial officers. Their KRA and KPI is being tagged to overall profitability of the organization, overall margin increment of the organization. Okay. AI is vehemently being used in various auditing techniques. We have very recently developed something called audit management system, AI based audit management system for one of the top notch diversified FMCG company. Their head office, registered office is in Calcutta itself. Okay. And the development of that AI based AMS system basically forced them to stop their internal audit which they were getting it done from one of the big fours, right. So they had quarterly audits of their system, and the system now has become so robust that the AI basically communicates handshakes with their SAP system, with their in-house applications, gives the red flags to their respective business owners. Okay, that is basically the task of internal audit that we do, right? Identifying red flags and giving it to the users. Okay, so one of the big four lost their contract because of this AI implementation and analytics implementation in audit, internal audit. Okay, and the same is being experienced across industry. This we already discussed, right? Futuristic CA's journey would somehow look like this. If we are not focusing on reinventing ourselves into analytics, into AI, into value added services, okay? Trust me, the top declining jobs that we saw in the very first slide, we might fall under any of those, okay? So we'll have to basically, I'll not say 100% pivot, but you'll have to add that extra wing into your feathers, right, of data and AI consulting. So what can you start offering? What you can start offering? Can anyone in the house, based on discussion that we have had till now, tell me one value added service, okay, I need 5, one each from you, that you can start offering to your client, which may be a value added or as a part of being a strategic advisor rather than a compliance manager. Anyone? Data? Got it? Anything? Anyone? Sorry? Cost analysis? Cyber security audits. We got 3. System integrator, SIs. Anyone from the back? Anyone from the back? Employee management. Yes. You can be an offshore HR consulting company for your client. Offshore. So these are some of the service offerings that I believe as a chartered accountant, we can very well do this, okay, as a core data and AI consulting, okay. Starting from enterprise data excellence assessment. What is this? हम लोग process रिव्यूज़ में जाते हैं, इंटरनल ऑडिट में जाते हैं, वी आस्क फॉर डेटा, राइट? एक बंदा आता है, बोला सर ये डेटा है हमारे पास ये सिस्टम में. यू सी द डेटा, यू फाइंड लॉट ऑफ एनोमलीज इन द डेटा, कंप्लीट नहीं है, करेक्ट नहीं है, ओके, देन यू गो बैक टू हिम और हर, he or she gets another set of data from another source, okay. So the very first thing that you experience here is all the business functions or the data that is getting generated within that organization is siloed, right? So can you do something called data maturity assessment for them? Okay, how your client is generating data, who has got right to access your data, is the data complete within organization, because all the information that percolates, that basically trips up to the organization is based on the data, right? Is the data correct, complete? So that is what you can start your journey with. One of your key service offering or niche service offering that you can develop, data maturity assessment. I'll give you a glimpse of it, that how we generally do, right? So this is basically a tool that we have developed, okay, an automated tool that we have developed which we use for enterprise data maturity assessment. And this is what we have been doing for a lot of our clients. This activity takes not more than 7 to 10 days, okay, not more than 7 to 10 days, and we charge anything between 10 to 15 lakhs for this DMA, data maturity assessment, okay. The organization's capability in terms of PPT, people, process and technology, how mature are they, right? This can be one of your service offering which you can start, okay. Because you know the process, you know what data source is getting is being used, what data is getting generated, who are using it as a part of your internal audit. Can you do a data maturity assessment? Okay, I'll give, say, I'll start very small, I'll showcase it to you. You start discussing with the key stakeholders within your client, okay, from business process owners, and you start rating them, right? You see the overall score getting, you submit the score, and the GPT would basically generate a report for you. Okay, so let's say if I do view summary, okay, the overall data maturity score of my organization, let's say, is 2. Okay, whether it's good, bad, ugly, is this. This is very bad, this is very good, and my organization is falling in this. Okay, I basically do a get report. Okay, I get the assessment report in my inbox. Okay, and a detailed report will follow, because at the end ChatGPT is basically generating those reports based on ratings that we have assessed. Okay, so we have basically transformed this service offering into a tool based service offering, but you as a consultant can very well go, okay, and get this done on a plain Excel sheet or a Google Sheets as well. Okay, so this is one offering that you can go and start right away. It does not require much of technical knowledge, much of tool knowledge. There are survey tools available, SurveyMonkey, lot of survey tools available wherein you can get those questionnaire created and assessment done. Next is data architecture and engineering. Umesh sir was talking about data lakes, right? GST, government is basically creating those data lakes. You know who are consulting them? It's we chartered accountants who are consulting them build those data lakes. Obviously, at the time of building, it would be core data engineers, those core data lakes people who have got that technical knowledge. But we chartered accountants are helping those core technical people understand what needs to be stored and how it needs to be stored. Right? So, this data engineering practice or consulting can be one of your key points. Last, I would say last because right hand side it's the next phase or the journey that you need to take, but since we are going into a very baby step, these three are the ones where you can very well start consulting your client with. Data intelligence and insight building. Can anyone tell what this is all about? What is KPI? The full form है. What is meant by KPI? Absolutely. हमारा बिलोरोबिन और HbA1c शुगर का लेट्स से इज 6, तो इट्स अ KPI, की परफॉर्मेंस इंडिकेटर, मतलब हमारी हालत कैसी है. ओके, you would be amazed to hear that the who's who of ITCs and the Britannias, they don't know what to measure and how to measure. Let's say in manufacturing, what are the top 30 KPIs you need to track? In logistics, what are the top 30 KPIs you need to track? Do you need to be a KPI master for that? Do you? you can simply upload the Excel raw data that you are getting from client into GPT and ask a very simple question. Give me the list of key insights that can be generated using this data. Okay, this can be one of the service which you can start, right? Does it require any hi-fi technical knowledge of AI, right? So all these three on the left hand side, these are low hanging fruits that I am telling you, right? KPI identification and mapping. How does that KPI impact the overall organization's goal? Okay, I'll tell you a very small story. We were actually discussing a business opportunity with one of the Kolkata based personal care product company, right? And their problem statement was कि हम लोग अपना फ्रंट लाइन सेल्स पीपल लोग को टारगेट तो देते हैं, टारगेट तो मीट हो जाता है, लेकिन हम लोगों ने जो बिगिनिंग ऑफ द ईयर जो इनिशिएटिव लिया था कि वी वुड इंट्रोड्यूस अ न्यू प्रोडक्ट and we would basically push this new product to the market for sale, right? We are not able to understand whether that initial goal that we have taken is being fulfilled or not, right? We did a very simple BI development, okay, business intelligence dashboard building for them, and we understood that because there was a sales pressure onto the salespeople, they were actually selling those low profit margin products more because they were readily sellable in the market rather than the higher ticket size one. Okay, every month the owner of that company used to get a report which says because there was lack of, because there was a lot of attrition at the salespeople side, we were not able to match the target that we were given, right? We did a very simple analysis, okay? Joined the dots between your head counts and your target and achievements, and we basically proved the sales head wrong in that way. Okay? So, trust me, the bigs of the country, not within India, global also, okay, they don't know what to measure, and that is where you can help them get this done. I'll showcase some of the representative dashboards, right, that you can start building. इन्वेंट्री मैनेजमेंट सभी कर रहे होंगे, राइट? जो भी अपना इन्वेंट्री ऑडिट्स वगैरह करता सब करते होंगे, राइट? कैन यू क्रिएट these simple reports, real-time reports for your end customer or end client to consume? The internet connectivity is low. So you are giving your reports either in an Excel format or in a Word format. Can you create those reports in this engaging visuals or a dashboard which is real time in nature? Okay, we have heard about CCM, right? Continuous control monitoring system. This is continuous control monitoring system. On a real time basis, you basically plug in the logic of safety stock and the system would give you a reminder whenever your stock level falls below the safety stock. Okay, rather than giving a post facto analysis. Okay, हम लोग तो इन्वेंट्री ऑडिट 3 महीने के बाद या 6 महीने के बाद करते हैं, तो हम लोग बताते हैं कि भैया इतना टाइम आपका सेफ्टी स्टॉक के नीचे गया था, बट दैट हैज हैपेंड, राइट? दैट इज द पोस्ट फैक्टो एनालिसिस दैट वी आर डूइंग. बट कैन वी क्रिएट दिस काइंड ऑफ डैशबोर्ड्स फॉर देम टू कंज्यूम ऑन अ रियल टाइम बेसिस? Okay, these have various sections, right? And this took us almost 1.5-2 months to build these reports, right? And can you tell me what is the charge that we basically ask this client for? Any wild guess? Let's say 500 crores to 2000 crore के बीच में revenue का client है. Yes, obviously in lakhs, but how much? On an average, these kind of reports is basically offered to our clients in a range of 20 lakhs to 30 lakhs. Okay? And this is all repeatable in nature. Rishabh was talking about you iterate once, right? And then you basically repeat that same task. Correct? This is what the repetition or scalable thing means. So once हमने किसी client के लिए ये बैठ के पूरा बनाया, उसमें it may have taken 3 months, 4 months time, 5 months time, but when this was ready, it is almost plug and play for all of our clients. और हम लोग चार्ज उतना ही करते हैं क्लाइंट से जो इनिशियली चार्ज किया था. Okay, so this is what Rishabh was talking about. You iterate in the first instance and then it becomes repeatable in nature. Okay, कोई भी एक असाइनमेंट के लिए क्लाइंट आपको big fours have gone to such a low that they are charging 10 lakhs and 15 lakhs for a year-round internal audit of all the business process. Such is the competition that is there in the market. Such is the impact of AI in the market. And this we are doing for 3 months, 2.5 months, 1 month for one business process. So this is for inventory. Similarly, we have done for supply chain, right? Similarly, we have done for purchasing department. So you can understand one dashboard that we are building, we are reusing the frameworks that we have built to basically scale this up. Okay, so this dashboard building, KPI identification can be one of your key service offerings which you can start. And again, all these 3 on the left hand side are the low hanging fruits which you can start right away with zero upskilling, with zero technical knowledge, right? On the right, it requires a lot of upskilling, lot of understanding, but left में ये 3 आप अभी से straight away कर सकते हैं, right? So what we require? The mindset shift. Many a times I say I'm not a technical person, ठीक है? Data and AI is never a technical problem. Is never a technical problem. It has and it will always be a function, business function related problem. आपके पास कोई अगर आता है हमको बोलने के लिए कि भैया मेरे को एक AI solution चाहिए, तो किस लिए चाहिए भैया? तो मेरे को quality audit को enhance करना है. So what is the business function? Quality audit, right? So you need not be a technical person, you need not know how to code. And even though if you want to code, you need to be good in English language. Okay? You don't need to be a coder to code. You need to be a good English language understand or a writer to basically help LLM create that codes for you. Okay? Client won't pay. Yes?
You need to structure those data and cleanse those data.
Everything is being done by AI for you. Everything. I'll take a very small example. Insurance companies होते हैं, right? And they basically tie up with a lot of banks. And these banks share the data in their own format. Axis Bank अपने format में भेजता है, बंधन बैंक अपने format में भेजता है, ठीक है? HDFC अपने format में भेजता है. तो हमारी जो insurance client है, they were frustrated कि if I'm getting the data in a various format, I am basically using almost 12 to 13 days to collate that data and then generate a report for my top end team to understand कि बैंक का से मेरा कितना insurance generate हुआ. Okay? We did the automation and they are getting the report on a near to real time basis. T minus 1 hour में उनको report जा रहा है. How we did that? We trained AI model to basically structure the data is coming from various bank systems. Okay, a simple structuring exercise which took us not more than 1 week. Okay, 1 week भी इसलिए क्योंकि हम लोग को prompts वगैरह लिखना पड़ा अच्छे से. Okay, for instance, let's say Bandhan Bank is giving amount in 50 lakhs as 50 LACS, right? But your HDFC Bank is giving an absolute 50 lakhs, 5, 0, 00, 000, like this. We basically used these exceptions or issues to train the model that whenever there are discrepancies, you understand 50 LACS to be this 50 lakhs. These are simple exceptional handling which we train the fine-tune the AI model. Okay, and right now all their banker related reports are getting structured. Okay, lot of internal audit report, lot of at times when you go do GST reviews and all, lot of data that you would get is highly unstructured. You can use LLMs to basically structure them, right? So many a times you say clients won't pay. They will not pay, as I said, they will not pay for anything which is a burden for them. Okay, a cost center for them. And our traditional practice is a cost center. Okay, they will always say, "Bagal wala to CA mere ko X amount mein kar raha hai, aap itna kyun charge kar rahe ho?" Every year there would be negotiation. Every year there would be tussle with your client. And at a point when you will not be able to sustain the margin, okay, working with that client, your quality of delivery or quality of service will get impacted. Okay, you will try to put an article there. Okay, he or she may not be as proficient as your previous employees or people would have been there, right? So your mindset of delivering a value added service or a strategic advisor to your client needs to be implemented. Okay, where do I start? Okay, where do I start? And as I keep saying, as chartered accountants, as finance people, we have actually have all the trust that we have built working for our clients. Okay, we just need to up and identify that niche area, upskill ourselves little, okay, in the tools, and then we can do. So future ready firm that I personally see and I have started experiencing. Okay, and you go towards west, south and north side. I keep on interacting with the CA firms across the regions, right? 70 to 80% people have already pivoted to some core value added services, into cyber security, into forensic audits, into blockchain consulting, into AI consulting, into data consulting, right? East region is where we have not yet broken the chains. Okay, and it's high time. The world is an open market, right? If we don't upskill ourselves, if we don't pivot ourselves, okay, then there is a problem. How to get started? Learn the language, learn the key nitty-gritties about the service offerings that you are planning to take. Okay, you don't have to be an expert, just the lingo would do. Okay, partner smart. Now if you have to build those dashboards, those AI application tools, will you be doing that? We are not coders, right? So you need to partner with IT consulting companies who are basically developing these kind of reports. Okay, you do the consulting and we do the development, right? Why now? Clients are ready. When I say ready, wherever you go, आज से 5 साल 7 साल 10 साल पहले डेटा के बारे में डेटा को कोई इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं देता था, राइट? बट टुडे इफ यू गो टू एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन and you show them these reports, okay, every executive of your client's company, right, the client will hear to what you have to say. Okay, and the next is tech has become affordable. Okay, tech has become affordable. That means whatever licenses you need to procure, you need to purchase. चिट्ठी आ गई है. Please wrap up in 5 minutes. Okay, I have just 8 or 9 slides, but I'll try to wrap it up. Clients are ready, tech has become affordable, Okay? I keep on saying this line ever in all the sessions. We as chartered accountants are at a very best position to lead this change. Okay? To lead this change. The opportunity is wide open for data and AI-led consulting. Okay? We understood what are the niche area we need to start thinking of giving these value-added services. Okay? It's up to us. Okay? Either to continue on the same road which is more crowded, okay, or we need to, or we can go on to some other road into becoming a strategic advisor to our clients. Okay, which one are you choosing? Which one are you choosing of these two paths? If you are choosing the second one, trust me, the future is bright. If you are choosing the first one, trust me, we are going to have a very hard time. I am part of the AI in ACAE committee. I was a part of the team which drafted the forensic standards. And trust me, the top-notch people who are day in, day out deliberating and discussing on these points, okay, it is just a matter of time. It's not even the matter of time, it has started even, okay, that will be experiencing this. Call to action, very simple. Go home, identify one client where you want to experiment with these 3 services that we discussed. Explore one tool, okay, one application that you want to do for them, okay. Join core data community or AI-led community. Online there are tons and tons of community and you can start your work. And this is the basically summary of what we have been discussing. We have to convert ourselves from a compliance to a confidence level managers, and from numbers, we see as a very good in numbers, है ना? Very good in numbers, but we will have to transform ourselves from numbers to narratives. Okay, thank you, and let's reimagine the CA practice together. Is there an email ID? You can drop an email on this if you want to get in touch with. Okay. With this, I conclude the session. Happy to take any question if you have. Yes.
It would be a very premature question, you may say that, but when you mentioned, GST filing, tax filing and all is getting commoditized, so what do you think this service will get, when it will get commoditized?
Absolutely. Consulting can never get commoditized. Consulting can never get commoditized. Any principle-based learning or skill that you have will never get redundant. Very small example. आप Power BI learn कर रहे हो, कल के दूसरा tool आ जाएगा, you will become redundant. Okay? But if you know the principles of data visualization, चाहे वो Power BI में हो, Tableau में हो, फलाना में हो, ढिनकाना में हो, you will not get redundant. Right? KPI identification will not get redundant. Okay? Because you know what needs to be measured and how it needs to be measured. So the consulting that we would be doing in, okay, it has always, or it should always be principle based consulting that we should be doing in. Okay? Any question?
Thank you.